Okay, hello and welcome again. So this is a part 2 of our network programmability lab, where we basically have a multi-vendor network and built in Gen3, and we are trying to explore different networking technologies. If you haven't attended previous streams, make sure you watch previous recording on my YouTube channel. The agenda for today will be that, well, we want to start interacting with some IPAM system, IP address management system, so that we create our, let's say, addressing scheme and all of that stuff there. And then in our scripts, we will basically use their API to get those info about subnets and basically like assign IP addresses and so on for the config. So again, the general overview is that, okay, I am entering some subnets in NetBox. This is this open source IPAM system. I can interact with it there and so on and so forth. But then I basically, when I want to configure my devices, instead of putting in their like config manually and IP addresses, I'm getting them directly from IPAM, and I apply some kind of logic. We will see how it goes. I actually not 100% sure how exactly it will look like, but we will see. So yeah, I'm getting a subnet there, and I'm assigning IP addresses to my devices. And then, yeah, that's basically it. So I don't hard-code an IP addresses in my scripts and so on. I'm using IPAM as a single source of truth. Okay, so whenever I have some kind of change in IPAM, and then if I have a proper automation around it, I can just change in the GUI like IP subnet space, click one button, and technically deploy this change across my whole network in like one click, if all of that is done properly. So obviously we are like far from it yet because we just started, but this is my plan. Okay, so I think it's a perfect time to start. Oh, and yes, previous times this Ubuntu controller doesn't really work. Still, I didn't fix it yet, but for now we don't really need it, because what I'm going to do here in this NAT cloud, where the lab is hosted, I have basically a Linux box where this whole lab is running, so I can actually make all of kind of stuff from there. Okay. Do you have guys sorry. Do you guys have any questions up to this point before we start? Okay, I don't see any questions, so let's begin. Oh, I actually have a question for you guys. Can you see the text here on this note all right? Because I just cannot tell if it looks okay on the stream. Okay, cool. So I'm going to also delete one of the links here between R1. Yeah, so here there is PC1, PC2. I have a couple of switches. I have a couple of CSR routers. Here I have my hub router. This is also CSR here in the middle. This at the future will be DMVPN hub. So I'm from branch 1. The idea is that I'm going to connect via DMVPN, and if you have ever configured DMVPN, you know that it's pretty much template config on like branches and almost on the hub as well. So it would be a really good use case for using something like Jinja templating. Okay, cool. So let's start exploring the NetBox, and I'm going to tell you this is the first time I actually use any kind of IPAM system, just because well, I have, on positions that I have been, I didn't really operate with, well, I didn't like build a network from scratch and or stuff like that. Or, well, I also didn't like operate network because I'm working vendor. But that's why I haven't really had a chance to use IPAM system. But it's not there isn't a better time to start doing something than now, right? So here is a GitHub page for the NetBox, and it's basically almost the whole project was written by Jeremy. You can find him on Twitter at PocketLife. Amazing guy, dedicated a lot of effort putting it all together, and then in the end it was open sourced by DigitalOcean, the company he's working at. So really interesting. Let's see what it has. So it says here IP address management, data center infrastructure management tool, DSIM. So for this use case, I don't really care about data center infrastructure management at this point. But again, we never know. So there is code, and then there is a README. Okay, so I think let's just go to like quick start or something. Okay, it advises us. Okay, let's go to documentation. And let me make the font bigger. Okay, so for me, as a person who sees this for the first time, Maxim, thanks very much for donation. So I'm really looking for like quick start or something like this. Okay, here I see getting started, see installation guide. Woohoo! Okay. User is recently now version of is not available. So okay, I have Ubuntu. They proposed to me to install PostgreSQL, then run it, and then create a NetBox for it. Interesting. So, well, I understand like why they propose like to put like separate packages, like okay, you have to install PostgreSQL on your own and stuff like that. I was just really hoping that there is like one single command that could get me up and running, like some kind of installation script. I don't see it right now, but what I also noticed is that they have Docker container here, so maybe this would be an easier way to go. Let's see what this Docker container is. Quick start. Okay, so this looks interesting. Let me try doing that actually. So they use Docker Compose, so there will be compose YAML file. Okay, what does it do? So this compose file has a couple of images, Nginx, Postgres, and NetBox itself. So this one uses Nginx on Alpine, Postgres on Alpine, Linux, and then they set up some volumes here. Okay, let's try this. I don't really want to do all of those stuff manually, and let's use Docker, which is very popular right now. So let me go to my machine there, and just give me 1 second. I will bring up the console, and okay, so here on this Linux machine I already have Docker installed. So let me since we starting touching the Docker a little bit, I think it would be a good point to explain, so people who are, you know, have never seen it have at least some kind of understanding about what that is. So basically, Docker is a containerization technique and containerization technology, and that means is that we are trying to run. Well, I actually do not know like official definition of container, but the idea is that it's very similar. It's very similar to virtual machine, except of you use the kernel from your host machine. So you don't if you have a virtual machine, right? So you have a kernel which would be like a separate for virtual machine and separate kernel for your host, right? So separate kernels for host and guest. In case of containers, you use you use kernel from kernel from host, but then you can kind of like virtualize and isolate your like user level applications. So think about it as a lightweight virtual machine. There are some advantages and disadvantages. So allegedly, like you know, containers are meant to be that, okay, they provide similar kind of isolation as virtual machines. Is not like 100% true, because obviously, like with virtual machine, you have much more isolation. So, and they also there are some interesting implications from networking perspective, because if you use containers and you use kernel you use kernel of the host, so with network interfaces it becomes a little bit not so straightforward as it would be in virtual machine, right? So in virtual machine you go to like your VMware, I don't know, ESXi workstation, whatever you have, and then you click just, okay, I want a couple of NICs, and then I select, okay, one NIC will be this virtual vSwitch, one network will be that virtual switch, and so on. So in like VMvault, it's much more easier to do. In case of containers, it's a little bit more complicated, because then on the host you will have to create bridge interfaces through which your container will be communicating. So if you really want to have a quick start, and Docker is just one of the, let's say, products to implement containers. People starting using it, especially developers, like probably 3-4 years ago. This is like where this boom started, and I see that containers also started coming to the networking world. Okay, so and for some reason I have a chat, but I don't see the messages popping up in the chat directly on my screen. So just give me 1 second, I will try to fix the chat. Okay. Yes, so let's see. So there is some discussion in the chat about router goats, Docker, WebEx, and where to sign up. So the router gods is a community of network professionals, very big one. It's as the lane tamer said, it's invite only, but you can go to the meetup page and search for router gods, and then you will find this meetup page with a detailed instruction how you can actually join. I am part of it. we really have a lot of interesting content, a lot of really cool people. So yeah, if you haven't joined, I strongly encourage you to put some effort into joining, because it's really a great place to hang out for network engineers. So I'm still not sure that, let me put some testing message, test message. I really want to get this chat working, and I just got it working before the stream, but now it seems that it's completely broken. Okay, I think it should be working now. Let's see. Let's put another test message. Okay, it's working now. Great, awesome. So perfect. So let's go back. I talked briefly about Docker. So this is like a container technique. Let me go to a new tab. Docker quick start. It's really easy to have a quick start with Docker and get started with Docker. No, not this one. Docker installation. Let's see. So you go to Google and you go to Docker, get started. And for some reason, when you really want to do it as fast as possible on the stream, they just don't take you to the proper link. So we are looking for community edition. Docker community edition. Bitrod, thanks very much for donating. I really appreciate it. So here they just reworked the page, I think like last week or so, because honestly I was installing Docker, I think this Tuesday on another machine, and there was like some different page that I was taken to. Docker AC maybe, Ubuntu, oh here. So get Docker, Docker AC stands for Community Edition, and then Ubuntu, or some other, like for Mac or Windows, you have different variations here. So you will need to install Docker CE. You just install a couple of dependencies, you install their official GPG key, and then you add repository for your architecture, and then you install it. I'm not sure why they didn't streamline this process. Again, it would be great if you could do just sudo apt-get install docker AC and that's all. I do not know why they don't do it. Probably there is some explanation. So you install it, and after you do this on your machine, in this case on let's actually do it here on this host. So I can now do docker run hello world, and basically it runs your first container, which is called hello world. This message shows you that installation appears to be working correctly, blah blah blah, docker run. Yep. So pretty straightforward process to get your containers up and running. So okay, let's go back, and I'm thinking if I should give you some another example of Docker container. And I think it should. Let me actually do it this way. So let's see, there is a Docker container called Alpine, and Alpine, this is very tiny version of Linux. I think it's based on Debian, but I'm not sure actually. So if I do docker run -it, IT stands for interactive prompt, and then I will say what? I will say I would like to get to Alpine, and then I want to run bash after I do this. So it will actually download an image from the Docker repository, from Docker Hub, and it didn't work. Time created, starting container. Oh, I think because Alpine, yeah, Alpine doesn't have bash. They have a shell, I think, by default. So let's see, echo shell. Actually, I don't remember how to see shell. So here I can now, do they have Python? No, this is like very stripped down version of Linux, but I'm pretty sure you can install whatever you want. So I think it's up apk at, say Python. No. Does it require? No, it shouldn't require. So let me see. Alpine install package. It's very straightforward if you like just find some doc for it. Okay, so it says, okay, first you update the list with apk update, and then you basically say apk add Python 2. No, please, I don't want Python 2. What is it, 1995? Let's install Python 3, right? Okay, so it installs from the repository, and then now I have Python 3, Python 3.6.3 already there. Isn't it amazing? And then you can do like perfect f strings, like test string, let's see, stream, and then I can say f string, f hello test string, fat fingering doesn't really help. So yeah, Python 3.5 feature, oh sorry, Python 3.6 feature already there, perfect. So this is like very easy way to get some kind of like shell, or you know, test something real quick. There is much more to it, so you can have, so technically the containers are not persistent, so if you like, you know, you remove them, you lose everything. So if you want to work around this, you need to use what is called volumes, where when in container you map some kind of path. So let's say you map a path /etc/nginx to your local path. Let's say home slash let's say dmfigo/nginx config. So you map these two, and then whatever you change in the Docker container in etc nginx will be reflected on your local system under this folder. So it's just, you know, Linux mapping. If I am familiar with LXC, LXD, so not really. I know that for you know, LXC is used mostly for like the whole distribution itself. So there is like LXC container for Ubuntu, for like Debian and all of that stuff. Docker containers are mostly used for like applications themselves. So usually you wouldn't like just have Ubuntu container. You would actually package your application, let's say, you know, some kind of website, to the to the container, and then you can quickly run it. So this is actually, you know, guys, just give me 1 second. Let me see if there is some kind of secret info. If there isn't, I'm going to show you how I run my website. And I'm sorry, I'm going here a little bit off topic, but I also do not want to, you know, to like, oh, okay, I start using Docker and then like not everybody understands what I'm actually doing, you know, and so on. So we will definitely get back to NetBox very shortly, but since I started discussion about Docker, I think it's important that I provide some more insights there. So just give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to see if, as I told you, if my website repository doesn't contain any kind of secret info in container stuff. And if it doesn't, I'm going to show you this. Yep, I think it's all fine. So, and here we come to stuff like Docker Compose, and then some kind of orchestration around containers. So running containers is great, but what if you want to run more than one at the same time? And usually you won't, right? So you would like to have different services in different containers. So let's say you run Nginx, you run Flask on top of Nginx, you run Postgres, all of that stuff. So you put every one of those in different containers. And then the question is, how do you manage all of those? Do you do like Docker run for everyone? What happens if one stops, right? And stuff like that. So this is where like Docker orchestration systems come in. The most simplest one is just Docker Compose. It's a way to, like, on one machine to run multiple containers and to be the be managed via single like CLI and single like file. And there are systems like Docker Swarm and Kubernetes. Probably you heard about them as well. Those are like a way to have a cluster of servers where you could deploy containers easily. I'm not sure we will cover Kubernetes as part of our streams, mainly because I don't feel we will need a cluster of servers for containers, but maybe we will, I'm not sure, but for now, not really. So for our purposes, like Docker Compose is fine. So in this case, I'm showing you Docker Compose file for my website, for my blog, and it runs only two. It runs only two containers. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So it runs two containers, Jekyll and Nginx. So Jekyll is a system which converts like Markdown posts to HTML pages. So I'm running it using image of Ruby, and then I basically it watches a directory on my local system. Sorry, not on my local system, on my remote system, and it's mapped to another folder. It runs some command continuously, so this command is just to continuously generate my website, and then I have separate container Nginx where I, this is how I actually host the website. So, and then I can do something like Docker Compose up or Docker Compose like stop to manage containers. So, and this is what they have here for the NetBox Docker Compose. So they have similar, they have three containers: NetBox, Nginx, Postgres. So let's just run it. There was an instruction error. I just follow it along. And I will have to do it on my remote system, I think. So let's exit this Alpine. I can see the if there are some Docker containers running with Docker PS, there are none. Okay. So let me go to repositories folder, and then I'm going to git clone this NetBox Docker. Okay, it's done. So I will have to go to my NetBox Docker, and they say you Docker compose pool. Okay, let's do it. So with Docker compose not found. I'm actually not sure why Docker compose. I thought it was it is by default there. Installing Docker compose. Okay. Okay, let's wait while this finishes. Change mode. Okay. Done. Okay. So if I say Docker compose version. I think it just doesn't have version. Oh, they actually have version. So why are you failing? Let's run it with sudo. Okay. So this part is fine. Let's go back. So I have to go back to my repositories, NetBox Docker. Then I say Docker compose pool. Okay. So it downloads base images from the Docker Hub. And more. So we started first with downloading image for Postgres Alpine. So okay, it will take a while. So while it's running, let's look what is here. So you can go to browser. On port 8080, the application will be available after a few minutes. Let's go. Let's see what they port they mapping 8080. Okay. Let me see if there is nothing running on port 8080. Okay. Nothing is running there. So 8080, I should be able to open it in browser. You can configure up using environmental variables. They're defined in NetBox and read environmental variables. This is too long. I don't want to read so much. So let's see what's the progress here. Oh, okay, it's done. So and then we will up minus D, I think. Let's see, up minus D, yeah. So what up does? Up basically runs all containers. Minus D does is that they all run in the background. So let's run this. Let's see. Yep. Okay. Okay, this looks great. So now if I do Docker PS. So it has a couple of containers here, NetBox, Docker, and yeah, 3. They're all up and running. Let's wait a little bit to make sure that it's actually loaded fine. So, what is like the biggest advantage of Docker? And let me pose this question first to the audience. What do you think? Why do you think people started using them? And then I will tell you what I think. Yeah, I agree with both of you, especially if it's easy to spin up projects. Basically, what you're doing is that your app does not depend anymore on some kind of pre-configuration of the system. So usually you have to put some additional effort for like your config files. For example, if you use like nginx, right? You should set up nginx.conf to make sure that all of your routing is done properly and all of that stuff, you know? So in this case, you will have to do a little bit more additional work to make sure that this nginx.conf is mounted in Docker container. But once it's done and all of that stuff is in your repo, like either like private or public, you don't care about the host system anymore. You don't have to worry that, oh, there is like a different version of this plugin that can break anything. You just don't care about it anymore. You can like prefix versions of your software there, and you don't care about what is going on the host. Okay? And then, for example, you know, your virtual machine died, you spin up a new one. The only thing you're really doing is that you are git cloning the repo, and then you starting containers are using Docker Compose or cluster if it's like Kubernetes and stuff like that. You know, first I was really hesitant when I like started using it, but then, you know, like I quickly started noticing like how easy it is. So like I started using it first from my website, and you know, I was like playing on my Mac first, then I was playing on like some machines to make sure all of that is working, and then like when I just wanted to move it to production, to like my server, public server, it was as easy as just, you know, like just a couple of minutes. You go there, you install Docker, you clone your repo, and you start with Docker Compose. That's it. Okay, so I think let me see. Okay. So all of this stuff seems to be working. So Postgres on port 5432, this one is on 80, and this is on 443. But those are ports inside of container. Let me see Docker Compose again. So they expose 8080. And that's it. Okay, they expose only 8080. Hey, Tribute 32OZ. So are you asking about this particular project, or were in general? Okay, something is actually not working. Let me also get one additional window here. Let me see if I can access my remote server, and I can. And I think I am not able to go to 8080. It says connection refused. This is interesting. Let's see status of containers. It says created 6 minutes ago, status up for 6 minutes, and it's mapped to the port 8080. I'm not sure why it's not working. So if I go here, it says nope. Oh wait, let me see. Application will be available after a few minutes. Use Docker compose port. Okay, let me do this. Not here, here. Okay, so it's on this port. And actually I see that it's... Why it says bad request? Interesting. So let's see docker logs -f for the container. So maybe it still didn't load, but I don't know. I was expecting this to work. I don't see any logs here for any of those. Let's see docker logs for this one. It says 400. Interesting. It's running with G unicorn. It says 400. Do you guys see what I'm doing wrong? Because I think I did everything like it was supposed to be by instruction. Let's also check Nginx logs. Again, there are no logs there. Well, Postgres shouldn't have any. Ready to start up, waiting for server to shut down. Okay. And the page says the application will be available after a few minutes. You connect here. Alternatively, use something like reception to connect to Docker Compose projects. Let's see again. So my 400 comes from the NetBox. Actually, I really wanted this to work, but it doesn't. You know what? Just for the test, let me stop all of that. Docker compose, let's see, help. I think it's just stop or something. Down, stop. Okay, let's do Docker compose stop. And just for the test, I will start Nginx container. So it will be Docker run Nginx -d -p 8080 at port 80. So I just want to test that, you know, nothing is really broken on my side there. Okay, it will take a while. So I'm just running bare bone Nginx, and if it's all good, I should be able to see the landing page. And meanwhile, let's see what this guy says. NetBox is built against Python 2.3 and 3.5, Python 2.7 3.5, installation, see documentation. Recent version of PostgreSQL is not available. You will need it to install it. CentOS. Exec executable file not found in the path. Right, I think it's -d and then -p. Then also let's do rm. So rm, if the container is stopped, it will be deleted. Let's try this syntax. -rm, I think. Yep, so now it's running. So I can say docker ps and my container is Nginx is up and running. Here I really like how they assign names for the containers automatically. So they created here elegant kirch. I have no idea how to pronounce it, but the name is really cool. So the container is up and running. So if I did it correctly, if I go to 8080, I actually can see Nginx landing page. So if I had some Nginx conf and I had static files, I would be able to show it. So, you know, Docker seems to be fine here. So let's do docker stop for this container. And this --rm flag, it should now be deleted. Docker list? No. Kill export diff. Oh, it's so good. Okay, so let me see about the Docker compose. Docker compose. Let's say restart. And docker ps. So I have 3 Docker containers up and running. And this one was the one that is giving us hard time. And it's running around on different port, Nginx. And it's still giving us 400. So like, let's see. Maybe it's just NetBox thing. Let's look on their docs. So here they say, okay, you create a database. This case we're running everything in container. We don't need this. Okay, second is NetBox. So you install Python, you download the release, you go on Git repository, install packages, you configure something here, allowed hosts, database, secret key, run database migrations, and then you manage run server with 8000 port in secure. Navigate to the name of IP address of the server, and you should be greeted with the NetBox homepage. It's not suited for production use. Okay. I think we'll have to fall back to this one, unless you guys have tried running NetBox in Docker before and it worked fine. You know, I'm not willing to spend all of the time troubleshooting that. I really thought it will work without any hiccups, but apparently no. Let's see here, what does it say? So it's listening on this part. Yes, this part does not. This is what I don't like here. It says I'm listening on 8001. And then for every get it says 400, so like I'm not going to the right place. Bind. Let's see what is their Nginx file looks like, if they have one. They have one, nginx.conf. So here we have reverse proxy for the NetBox container port 8001. We have a static. We are listening on port 8080. And then we do reverse proxy to the port 8001. So once we do this, we should launch the gunicorn. So gunicorn is like a way to pass from Nginx to your like Python application. And I think they have it. So ls docker gunicorn config.py. Let's see. Oh, obviously cut. So we do binding, workers, root. Let's see this one, what this one does. So see, not all problems can be solved just by using Docker. It's not some kind of magic. If, you know, I'm thinking like, if they do like automatic builds on the Docker Hub, and you know there is no proper like error checking or stuff like this, so maybe like there was some change somewhere and they didn't catch it. So nope. Okay, I have honestly no clue like how to troubleshoot it from there, because I didn't write this, didn't spin up this. But okay, because we cannot get forward, sorry, we cannot go forward, I'm going to stop this Docker compose, and then I'm going to do it via old-fashioned way. So let's go through this installation steps. So we have to install Postgres, and I really would like to avoid it, but apparently I will have to do it. So I think right now it's a great time for, you know, questions either on project or some kind of like other topics, because I think it will take some time, maybe like 5 minutes to go through all of the steps here. And remember, I'm doing this for the first time. It's not like I was playing with NetBox before. The main reason why is that, you know, like if I did it before, then I would be able to easily avoid some kind of problems on the stream and, you know, bypass them. But then it also means for people who have never seen it, right, who have never tried NetBox in this case, could potentially stumble on some problems that they do not see on like stream or stuff like that, and they do not know how to do. So I really wanted to have me having this like first experience with stuff that I do not know on the stream, so that, you know, if you do the same steps, you will be in like my shoes. So I'm not doing some kind of magic on, you know, on the background here. Okay, so Postgres is installed. They say you have to enable it via systemd. Okay, let's enable this. Choose identity as authenticate. Multiple identities. Authentication is required to start it. Let's say 2. I'm as GNet3 user, and password will be. I didn't do anything. What? I'll use connection time. Okay, so let's actually have 2, and password will be GNS. No, it will be Cisco. Okay. This is unbelievable, really. Access denied. Let me think. Let me just give me 1 second, guys. I think right now I just forgot the credentials for that machine. Just let me check on my another screen if I can remember credentials. Let me try to. No. This is unfortunate. You know, guys, I feel right now like I was installing oh gosh, I forgot how this popular network management and network monitoring tool is called. Not Cacti, but another one. It's like really, you know, really heavy, and the installation process is really painful. Gosh, I really can't remember. Let me Google it real quick. Like really popular NMS system, open source one. Put in the chat. I'm pretty sure you. Yeah, Zavix, exactly. Thank you, Skiffer. So I remember myself trying to install Zabbix like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, and at that time I was also not so comfortable with like Linux and that stuff, and at some point I just, okay, I don't want to do it anymore. Like, it's so complex. This case, I mean, I can't say, you know, it doesn't feel too complex, but there is, you know, I see some complexity involved. And I really believe if there is like a way to kind of like if there is a way to kind of like get around it, like Docker is a great idea there. So, oh, actually there is a really good suggestion for NetBox Docker. I think you might have to set up the load hosts environmental variable. You know what? I think you are right, because I'm accessing it from the internet, right? So, did they? Let me go back. I don't think they did. Default settings are optimized for local development environments. You know what? Let me go back for the Docker stuff real quick, and then I will Docker compose up. Docker compose up, and I will try to get to. Oh no! I shouldn't have done it. I'm sorry. I forgot -d flag. Okay, that's so good. So netbox and file in netbox docker. Let's see. Cat netbox. I think this is it, right? Because I'm accessing the system remotely. I'm not accessing it like locally. It's not running on my Mac right now, the containers. So just give me 1 second. I don't really want to, or maybe the default optimized for local development environments. You should therefore adjust configuration for production setup, at least the following variables. Allowed hosts, use persistent database, email, user own mail server, max page size, super user. I think you are right. So let's try. So if I go to netbox.env, yeah. So and let me go to the end and then add something here. So I will add Sapphire. And now let's let's do sudo docker compose restart. What ports I will have? Docker ps, this port. Let me do additional change real quick. So I'm going to add to my etc hosts. etc hosts. Just bear with me for a second. I'm going to add an entry for my server, which is named as NetBox. NetBox. Sorry, I cannot really show it on my screen because there are some public IPs there. So just bear with me for a second. Okay. Okay. So if I ping netbox now, I am able to access my server on local network. So maybe this will help. Here it is. Software Kitten, you are a savior. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your help here and your advice. We got it working using Docker. That's amazing. Okay. So apparently there will be something useful on the stream, not just because at some point, like 10 minutes ago, at some point I thought, okay, probably for the rest of the stream I'm going to try to setting up the Docker and NetBox to get it just working. Okay, this is some really good news. So Let's go to their docs. Let's see how to use it. So installation, we are past that. We don't have to migrate anywhere. Mandatory settings. Okay, this part is already done. Secret key, whatever. I'm actually interested. Are they using Flask or Django? Just give me 1 second. I'm really wondering. So, NetBox managed. Okay, they are using Django. I really like Django. I started using it not so long time ago, but it's really nice. Okay, so using Django here. Okay. So, okay, first look, they have sites, tenants, racks, devices, connections, interfaces, console power, cluster virtual machines, IPAM, aggregates, prefixes, individual IP addresses, VLANs. Yeah, I really have to go through docs real quick. So, maybe not through everything, but at least some interesting parts. Data model, let's see what is circuit. Circuit components of NetBox deals with management of long-haul internet and private transit links and providers. Internet circuit. Circuit presents single physical data link connecting two endpoints. DSIM, racks, data center infrastructure management tells all physical assets. So I think we will have to add at least devices. I don't need racks and maybe sites. What about IPAM? IP address management tells the location of IP networks addresses and related numeric resources. VRFs, aggregates, subnets, prefixes, IP addresses. I'm going to just try to trust my intuition here. So let's go to devices and let's... Okay, I think I will have to log in. Oh, and there was on NetBox Docker, there was some default credentials. Admin, okay. Admin. Okay, so I can add device. Okay. Let's see. Let's go to our inventory here. And you know what, guys? I already see how, if all goes well, we can get rid of this like YAML file and have everything pulling from IPAM. That would be cool. So I have switch 1, router 1, router 2, switch 1, switch 2, hop 1. And I have brew edge on the remote site. And there is one PC there. Okay. And I lost my screen for a second. Hi Carrier51, nice to see you. Okay, add new device. So let me do this. I'm going to bring my Visual Studio Code here and let me open this inventory file again. And I'm going to get rid of that, move it to the side. And I can, well, let's leave it like this. Okay. And then I'm going to bring this to the right. And are they using Bootstrap? I think they're using Bootstrap. Let me see. I'm really curious these days what are people using. So they use Bootstrap and Font Awesome and jQuery. Okay. I'm wondering because like I'm like writing some sites right now, and you know, have to interact with JavaScript sometimes. Okay, so add new device. Let's add. Let's have R1. No, let's have SJ R1. I don't have any functions. Manufacturer. Ooh. Let me cancel this. I want to add manufacturers and sites as well. Let's also add sites. So I have site. The name will be SJ, and here will be, let's say, San Jose, and this will be SJ. Region, no region. Facility, ASN, no. Physical address, contact name, no. Create and add another one. Okay, I already like how this looks, so let's do another one. We have Brussels, and this one will be slug brew create. Okay, so organization sites, I have 2 sites right now with no devices. Rex, probably I will not have Rex right now. Virtualization, secrets, circuits, devices. Oh, I wanted to add manufacturer, so let's add manufacturer. The first one is obvious one, so we also have Juniper. Create another one. We will have Arista. Create another one. Gosh, and I had one another. Oh, we had Cumulus. Cumulus. Those devices are not yet in topology, but let's create it right now. Create. So I have those 4. What else? Device types. Let's see. Device types. Add a device. Let's add a couple of device type. Oh, and they are dependent on manufacturer. Console server is a network device, is PDU, parent child status none. Let's try. Let's say no. Add a new device type. No, this is not what I want. I thought like device role or something. Interface connection platforms. The name of Napalm driver. Yeah, so seems like there is a lot of interesting stuff there. What I don't, you know, I like how this is really fast. It's really fast, so it's pleasure interacting with the system. In this particular case, this one kind of looks like strange to me. They like, okay, let's add a new platform and then say Napalm driver. So, like for people who again don't use Napalm, it seems like this is what this platform is used for, right? I mean, obviously we will have to go to docs and double check everything, but in this case I would like to, you know, to have some kind of explanation, like what this platform is, maybe on the page itself. Or maybe it's just because I have never interacted with the IPAM before, and you know, it all looks kind of new for me. A device platform is used to the type of software running on it. This can be helpful when it is necessary to distinguish between, for instance, different feature sets. Note that 2 devices of the same time may be assigned different platforms. For example, one Juniper running Junos and another one running Junos 15. The assignment of platforms to devices is an optional feature and may be disregarded if not desired. So it seems like you are kind of defining software with the platform. Since they're using Napalm here, let me go back and see what kind of Napalm drivers are there to kind of try mapping those two. By the way, while I went to Napalm docs. Put in the chat, guys, if you know something about Napalm, so that others who doesn't can benefit from your knowledge. Let's try to spread the knowledge about different stuff, right? For example, I just know what that is, but I have never used it. I didn't have any kind of use case. Okay. Okay, I'm creating a new platform. Will be ISXC 16. Let's leave it like this. And for now, this will be. Well, I also have ASA. Say. No, let's. I don't want to add anything more. Okay. Oh, and I also have IS15. So I have ISV running a simple IS, and I have CSRs running ISXC 1671. This will be also IS. Great. Okay, so I have those two. The interface is really responsive. This is like, I like when websites are like this. You just click and you see the stuff. Device roles. Add device role. Oh. Let's see what they say about device roles. Role for definition of arbitrary device roles by which devices can be organized. For example, you might create roles for core switch, distributed switch, access switch. In the interest of simplicity, a device can belong to only one role. I'm thinking if I should have that. Let's have at least access switch role. I don't need Docker, so let me close this irrelevant stuff. So let's say access switch. Access dark red. No, let's have something like light blue. Virtual machines may be assigned to this role now. Label access switch. Okay. I will not have distribution switch, but I also will have edge. Let's have edge, and this will be orange because I like orange. Okay. So now let's add devices now. So I want to add what? SJ. No, let's start with switches. SJ. Switch 1. Device role will be access switch. Manufacturer will be Cisco. Device type. And it says it's obligatory field. No. I think this just defines that, you can select something, but oops. chassis serial number. We will skip this. Asset tag, no. This is site San Jose, not on the rack. Status, what are the statuses? Offline, plan, staged, fail, inventory. Say active, comments, whatever, create. Okay, it says you need to have a device type. Okay. Let's quickly look what the device type is. Presents particular hardware models that exist in the real world. Device types describe the physical attributes of the device, rack height and depth, its class, and its individual components. Device types are instantiated as devices installed within racks. For example, you might define a device type to represent Juniper EX3300 switch, and then you can create multiple devices of this time in switch 1, switch 2. Okay, so in this case this will be like CSR 1000V, I think. Each device. Okay, so let's say CSR 1000V, part number CSR 1000V. I think it's like this with big letters, height 0, it's full depth. I don't want to have anything in the rack. My stuff is hanging in the air. Okay, let's have another one. So this will be ISV L2, and there is no part number. Create another one. So I also will have ASAV. Part number ASAV is a network device. Create another one. So I have CSRs, I have ISVL2. Oh, manufacturer Cisco. For now we'll leave it like this. Okay. So now I should be able to create the device type. I will have to refresh this page. Wow, I refreshed the page and my stuff didn't disappear. That's amazing. Except I don't see my device type still. Let's try actually go back. So SJ switch 1. Device role, access switch, manufacturer Cisco, device type. Let's actually check here. Oh, okay, Cisco. This will be ISVL2. Site San Jose. Group. Create another one. Okay, that's cool. Let me go back here. Do they allow to duplicate this? This would be a cool feature. Like, just duplicating. Nope. I cannot duplicate here. But there is like import and export. Import. I can import it like a CSV file. Okay. That's nice. And I can export. Let's see. Let me save this. And let's see what it is. Just hold on, I will bring it to my Visual Studio here. Network devices. Okay, so you get a CSV file back. Fair enough. Okay, so if You know what? I really want to test different features, so I'm going to actually add via CSV, because why not? And I broke something. No? All good. So I'm going to add like here switch2, and then I have router 1. This will be, I don't know, let's put edge, but it's not really edge, so we will leave empty. Cisco, and this will be CSR 1003. Device types CSR 1003. Active San Jose. Let's add another one, router 1, and then we have another one which will be our hub 1. Okay, and this one will be this will be edge, and then as I say, I have to see that all of that stuff is matching. So devices, import devices. You know what, guys? No, I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it like proper network programmability enthusiast way. Let's check if they have API to do it. API overview and authentication. What is REST API? I don't need this. URL hierarchy. So it's housed under the API root at /API. Circuits, DC, MREG devices. Okay, this is what part that most likely will be needed. Let me put some notes here. So this will be NetBox, like something, some port, I forgot which one. Let's put 1 for now. Full hierarchy, each model has 2 views associated with it, list view and detailed view. Devices have list devices or create new devices. Okay, so this will be post there. To DSIM devices, serialization. NetBox IP employs 3 types of serializer to represent model data. Base serializer, nested serializer, and writable serializer. For example, VLAN serializer includes a nested representation of its parent. Related object, static choice of the file, pagination. Examples. We need examples. Let's say creating new site. Let's create new site. Select send post to the site list with token authentication JSON formatted data. Only mandatory fields are required. Okay. Modify an existing site. Make an authenticated put request. Creating new site. Actually, I'm not sure why they have ID in the new site. Usually this is what you get back. Data, new site, Slack, new site. Okay. Let's see also, okay, token, they have token. Let's see here, tokens. Tonic is unique identifier that identifies a user to the API. To create a token, navigate to IP tokens page at user/IP tokens. Let's check this real quick. And there is this default token, never expires. Okay. Each token contains key, authenticated, so they use what bearers type. Oh, they use token keyword. This authorization header. Okay. By default, read operation will be available without authentication. In this case, a token may be included in the request, but it is not necessary. Cool. Intent. To authenticate IP, set the HTTP authorization header to string token. Okay, this is so straightforward. Just give me 1 second. I will open the Postman. Let me just give me 1 second. I will make sure that again Postman does not contain any kind of like public data. And then I will bring it up. Okay, so I think I'm good to go. So Postman, if you guys have never seen Postman before, this is basically just a GUI application to simplify like testing an IP. So like really nice, really easy to use. Basically, if you want to like do get, post somewhere and whatever, and this is the first time you're using IP, instead of writing the whole script or using like CURL or something like that and do it in a command line, you just open this application, you put what you want, like get, post, you quickly form your AP request, and that's pretty much it. So let's see. So we are going to HTTP, not HTTPS. I will go to NetBox and then to our port of NetBox. Let's see, it's 772, and they say it's a /IP/devices. I think this was DCIM/devices. So they also said that read IP is without any kind of authentication, so I should be able to send it. Before I do get, I also need to include header which says accept type. No, accept, and I say application/JSON. So if all is good, done. Boom, and it's all done. And then they put it they put a count and then results. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create let's copy this. I am going to create one device using Postman, or maybe two. So let's modify this real quick. Post log switch one. Did I create only switch one? Yeah, I created only switch one. So here, switch 2, display name switch 2, slug. I will not have URL. I will have device type. I hope this will work, but I'm not 100% sure. Device role. Let's try also by ID. Device role, device type, tenant, platform, null, serial, access, tag, site. Let's try accessing site by ID, rec null. So I think I can delete those null values and that null values. I will have to have status, which is active here, and all stuff. I don't have it. So ID, and I should not have ID. Okay, this looks good to me, but it's possible that it will all break. So now I have to do another one. Let's do the same. I'm going to do post. I'm going to include. Not sure why they have like bear token instead of. Let me real quick check this. So by default, do they include token or bearer? Preview. Oh, I can do preview request. Let's see. They use bearer, but NetBox uses another keyword, so I cannot use this anymore. I say here no authentication. Here I will have to create the header manually. So this will be token, and then I put a token from here. It's the token, default token. Form data, I'm going to do pause there. I'm going to say I'm going to send you row application JSON. So, and then it selects content type application JSON. Awesome. So now I should be able to take this and paste this, and let's see what this guy says. Didn't work. No, but wait, it's at 200 OK. Why are you saying 200 OK and returning me? This is a little bit strange. Usually I don't see this in API. But you know, it's obviously like I cannot and I don't want to judge them that they implemented it in like such way. But I usually see a little bit different behavior. So you do a post to like some IP where you create a new resource, and you usually get back this newly created resource with 204 created. This is what I saw before. In this case, I send get, and something actually broke because I don't see a new resource created. So something broke, but they just returned the list and said it was 200 OK. Let me double check this. Let's do send get again. Yeah, you see, there is no new device here. So this, my post didn't work, but they said 200 OK. This part I don't really understand. But okay, this is open source, so we can go ahead and propose our pull request. Would fix bug and then propose PR. This would be a proper thing to do rather than, you know, just saying, oh, this is not the way it's supposed to work. For now, like, I actually have really good impression about this. I like how all of this interface is very fast, and once you get this past initial installation point, it becomes a little bit easier to operate. So let's see. Let's go back to devices. Devices. I see only one device. So they returned to me 200 OK, but it didn't really do anything. So you, oh no, this part is fine. This may be a little bit difficult to figure out. I actually I was working for some like small pie chart for interacting with API, like how much time it takes to get API work, to get somebody else's API working, and you know, like 50% understanding how their authentication work, then like 40%, like 30% understanding how to create new resources using their API, then 5% writing a script that does it, and then 5% testing that it works. So in this case, like, authentication took us like a couple of minutes, like, you know, they use pretty straightforward way to authenticate using tokens. But now creation part, this is where I'm struggling right now. And for some reason I'm just randomly clicking without doing anything useful. So let me go back here. Retrieving a single site by ID. So only mandatory fields are required. To site list and font with token authentication JSON formatted data. Only mandatory fields are required. It would be great if they had a little bit more, like more complicated example where the resource depends on some other resources. Core CURL patch. They have a proper use of put and patch. This is amazing. So I also, I saw this like problems with API. They do not get it right. Like they mix put and patch. In this case, they did it correctly. So put should be able, if you put is used for either creating a resource or modifying it, and if you are modifying it, you should present the whole resource. So you will either replace it there or you will create a new one. And with patch you can specify only specific field that you want to change. So in this case they want to change only serial number, for example. This proper use of put and patch. This is cool. Still though, I do not know. Retrieving site is fine. Posting site is fine. You know what? Just to gain some confidence with using their API, I'm going to create a new site here. So using just their example, I think this would be a little bit easier. So they do where? They do to API DSIM sites. Okay. So type no authentication headers, authorization, headers token, then body will be binary, no, raw application JSON. I'm going to copy this whole thing, and just for the sake of this example, I'm going to change this a little bit. And let's check what happens if I don't put ID. So in this case, let's say name is where we will have like our data center. Let's say we will have in Amsterdam. And this slug name will be IMS. Headers, application JSON. Okay, so let's do this real quick. And it says again 200 OK. You see this? Let me write this down. I will like open an issue, or I will pick Jeremy later, or maybe I will even like help them fix this on my own, because I'm pretty familiar with Django. If they're accepting pull requests. Just give me a second, my screen starting dimming. Okay, now it should be all good. So let's add here to the node site nodes. open an issue with NetBox when you don't specify ID for creating a resource using API, you get 200 OK, and even though the resource was not created. Right? Let's make it bigger as well. On NetBox GitHub. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm going to modify this a little bit right now. I'm going to add here like ID, but regardless, I don't feel like, you know, even if I'm doing it incorrectly, you should not get this behavior. You should not get 200 OK if you didn't get the resource, if the resource was not created. So, like, definitely I will try to get it working using their examples, but it, you know, just does not change the fact, really. Yeah, so resource is not there. So now let's go back to my Postman. Go back to my Postman and change here. I will add just ID. ID, let's say 3. Let's do send again. I'm again getting 200 OK. And I guess it didn't get created. Nope, it didn't. Okay, let's modify this more. Let's take this. Where is this other example? No, napalm, no. Examples here. Facility. Let me also just for this because I really like, you know, I don't know what IDs are there or not, so technically shouldn't specify IDs. You know, this is like my perception. So if I will not get it working, I will obviously add ID back. So let's try posts again. Again, it says 200. Okay. Okay. Let's put ID now. And it again said okay. Okay, now I'm confused. Token, I put it in proper way. There was some additional stuff there that I didn't include. They included, where is it? I cannot find this. They also included, okay, authorization, content type, accept. I mean, I can include accept, but honestly, not really needed. Accept. Localhost, DSIM sites, data. Oh no, you see here they will actually had it the same way I did. Name and Slack, that's the only thing they did. Post -X, post -H. ID without quotes in the example. You are actually right. But to your point, guys, for some reason I do not know how I didn't notice this. This is a response. The data that they're sending is this. So I had a correct one. It's a very first example. Body. So like this. I have the same name and Slack. API DCM sites. Name. I added this one. I have token. Send. 200. Okay. I'm almost willing to use to use their complete example with the C URL. Man, this usually should be pretty straightforward. I mean, I doubt this is the case. No. Is it keep us on Mac working? Yes, it does, Nintos. It's actually working pretty well. It's called, let me just do it real quick for you. It's called, I think, Keep Us X. Yeah, Keep Us X. It's, no, I'm sorry. This is called MacPass, like this. MacPass, this one. It works pretty well. Yes, Skiffer, I'm going to, this is what I'm going to do. But before doing that, I want to see pre-request script test. There was some like debug mode where I could see the whole thing that is going to be sent, but I don't see it right now. So something that is bothering, like I have a feeling my token doesn't work for some reason. Okay, before, yeah, just give me 1 second. I'm going to go to my server here. And I'm going to check the logs. Maybe there is like some like failed authorization or anything in the application. So I want to see this. So I need to use NetBox. And here I say docker logs -f. This is interesting. Exactly. Yes, this is where I'm looking. So I'm going there and they sent 301 redirect. And via redirect, I'm getting get to this. Is it about the slash? If it's about that slash, I'm... Oh... No. So it's about slash in the end. Oh, I hate this. Let me move it back. No. Why? Is it 201 created? Okay. So this is what it was. So it was about trailing slash. Let's then change here side note. Open handle absence of trailing slash properly. Currently it is doing 301 to slash version, and in the end post first changes to get. Okay. Wow, this is cool, but I like this troubleshooting. Okay, so now we have our site here using API. Yes. Yes. So okay. So can I go to now my devices? Let me get my Postman back. This one I was using here and I had the same problem. And I add body, I specify all this stuff. So this is a moment of truth. Incorrect type, expected PK value received dict. Expected PK value, expected dict. Oh, received dict. So I guess they want it like this. They want, you know what? I know Django, so why don't I go to their project and see it for myself. NetBox manage.py, and they have here apps. I don't see here API though, maybe here in NetBox. Let's see, it's usually called serializer. Serializer. Tenancy, API, extras, virtualization, DSIM, P, serializers. Nested, region, site. We need device serializer. I'm not sure it will be here, class device serializer. So you get all of these values, class meta, those are the fields that can be included, and you get a special get parent device. What about device type? Nested? No, yes, nested device type serialization. It includes URL, manufacturer, and the fields are like this. Actually, I'm not sure from what I see. I think it could be like this. Expected PK value, I guess it will be like this, but I'm not 100% sure. See. Oh, I made the mistake. This one though, okay, never mind. Let's try. 201 created. Oh, nice. Isn't this amazing? This is amazing. I have switched to now. Okay, so now Postman is good, but you don't want, you know, like if you use some kind of GUI, you can then do it via this GUI. So we will go one step forward and we are going to add those via Python script. So let's see, Python SSH on box. Let's create one folder which will be NetBox IP interaction. In my main project. Okay, So I'm going to create a new Python script, which we will call, let's call main.py for now. And then you'll import, I'm sorry guys, let me make the font bigger for you. Editor, general. Oh, it's already 17. Appearance and behavior. Alright. Oh, okay, guys. Let me know if this is too small font. Okay. If I need to make it bigger, just let me know. I will do it. I think it's fine, but I'm not sure again because I don't see the same picture as you do. So the import requests, we will have to include an IP token, and because we are doing it right, we are going to include an IP token in as an environmental variable. So we will import auth, and then we are going to have our script which says create, or let's say add device. This will be def, and it's going to accept a bunch of parameters. Let's say name, slug, and I'm going to change this a little bit. I'm going to rename this folder. Okay, thanks Kiefer, I will do it bigger now. So I'm going to change this a little bit. I'm going to let me make it bigger. So the interface is have it 18, and then the font maybe will have, I think like 19 will be big enough. Please confirm that now it's fine. Okay, I'm going to refactor here something else here as well. So I add this Python SSH, and the reason why I decided to do it is I'm going to move some scripts to helper file. Say we'll have helper.py. Roger that, Skiffer. Roger that. So let's get those out of the way. Let's put them in helper. And the reason why I want to do this is we have our inventory YAML, so let's just use it right now. Let's not do something manually, shall we? So something doesn't work here. YAML and deep copy. Okay. So import YAML, import deep copy, and I have to change this a little bit. Python SSH, import YAML. Okay. So for now, let's leave it empty. Okay, request OS. Because we are professional Python developers, we are going to make it as a package. And the only thing you need to do to make it as a package, you need to add __ init py. So then here, this will be a little bit different. So these two functions are not present. So I don't need this one anymore. I don't need these two anymore. So I import netmiko, and then I say from .helper import read YAML and form connection parameters from YAML. NetBox API interaction. Okay, this looks correct to me. What else? So helper. No module named deep copy. Oh, right. So it's from copy import deep copy. And then space to separate standard libraries from third-party libraries. Here it says hostdict, no new line in Z of the file. Okay. So now we also, in our NetBox API interaction, we will have requests library, and I have to move it to a little bit downstairs, down. So readme, no, requirements.txt will have to add requests library. So let's say requests. Let me go to the project, and I have to source my virtual env and network programmability lab, NetDevOps, bin activate. So I do pip freeze to see what packages I have installed. There are a bunch of them. Most of them were installed with PyYAML, NetMiko, NetDev, and that's pretty much it. So, by the way, I'm not sure which library uses TextFSM though. Okay, so now we install requests. For those of you who don't know, request is an amazing library to interact with HTTP, interact via HTTP with like servers. It's simply like one of the most downloaded Python libraries ever, and there is a good reason why it is. Okay, so certify that request URL lib. So we will add the version here as well. So we have our requirements.txt file. We have YAML. I'm not sure what that was, but that's fine. Our inventory YAML. Helper, NetBox IP interaction. I would argue though that usually you want to use, well, at least this is my perception, that usually you would want to use GUI to add entries to your NetBox, but to like your IPAM, but then you would want to read it programmatically from your scripts, unless you are in development environment where you want to quickly spin up your a new like instance of NetBox and pre-populate it with the data, like all of the device types and so on and so forth. Then you would save this data like in like some local database or like files. You would create some kind of this IP interaction using post and so on, so that you populate NetBox. I think it's kind of necessary here, like it's not really typical use case because you go to NetBox or any other IPAM to add an entry there manually and then you consume them programmatically. But because I would consider myself like a Python junkie, let's do everything in script, right? Scripting things will not hurt, and for us it's just additional learning here. Okay, so let me think. We will have to add our token. Let's have token, credentials, and let's have token, credentials, let me do this. Define form authentication header, form auth header. This will take well, the only thing this will really take, it will be IP token. No, then I will not create this. It's just additional effort which is useless. So we will have R, which will be requests dot post, and then oh, we have to add URL. That's for sure. So let's do NetBox IP root. Will be HTTP, and then I have to copy paste this part, and IP root will be /IP, and then NetBox let's say what? Let's say devices endpoint will be /devices /dsim/devices devices. Okay. So now if I do request.post on NetBox IP root plus NetBox devices endpoint and then data. So this is where I'm going to form my data. And let's actually start with creating a site, because we already did it. Add site, name Slack. So I have to make a copy of this, NetBox sites endpoint, which will be, let's see, dsim sites. Okay, dsim sites, a name and Slack, and I cannot have empty name, but I can have empty Slack. And then let's see if there is some predefined function in Python to do Slack. Python do Slack from string. Sluggification in Python. There is Python package named Python Sluggify, which does a pretty good job of sluggifying. Fair enough, fair enough. I'm wondering if they have this these packages dependencies. Let's see. NetBox. Where is the requirements.txt? No, they don't have it. Oh, Django does it for you. Django has a sluggificator, I think. So yeah, that part not really needed. Okay. Sluggify. Okay, so then for now let's just input that manually. Sluggificator. So how it's going to look like? So we will have headers, and let's create headers. So authorization, which will be token, and then token. And then format OS environment, and let's add a class, which will be class, let's see, NetBox IP token not found exception pass. So we are going to say IP token will be OS environ get, and then we'll name it, let's say, NetBox IP token, and we'll say if IP token is none, then I'm going to raise an exception, NetBox IP token not found, and then let's say NetBox IP token was not found in environmental variables. Okay. Cool, so then we have headers. There will be a bunch of them, so let's have proper formatting. So we will have here IP token. What else? Then we will have content type, and then we will have here application slash JSON. We have here accept application slash JSON. So here we have our NetBox IP route, NetBox devices endpoint data. For the test, let's add a new some new sites. So this will be a list of dictionaries where I will have name. Let's say name of the site will be Krakow, and then slug will be K, and then let's say there will be another one called name. If you guys want to have some kind of site created here, just let me know. Like, this is just random data I'm creating, so if you want to, I don't know, like include your home city, for example, I can edit for you. Why not? It's not only my project, it's our project, so if you want to add some city, let's go ahead and add it here. So while you were like thinking and putting in the chat your suggestions, like for some new sites, I'm going to continue doing my script here. So I'm going to do post, and I have to specify that I am going to use my headers. Let's add it on different line headers, and the JSON will be data. Nope. JSON. Yes, JSON will be data, and we have to create data. So data will be or we can have here separate ones, or we can have site name, which will be a dictionary. Site name none, let's say, and then all of that can be none. No, hold on. I will leave it as name. Sorry for confusion. Yes, this is fine. So name slug. So name is equal to name. Slug is equal to slug. Okay, cool. So I'm posting this, and now I will have some additional error checking. So if our status code will be 201, which means site was created, I will just have a print. Let's say site. Our beautiful F string site name was created successfully. Otherwise, I am going to call function rRaise for status. So this function, what it does, it says if I'm getting any other status code, I'm going to raise an exception that is corresponding to this status. So if I get 400, let's say 500 internal server error, this will result in raising an exception for 400. So it will say internal error exception or error, something like this. Thanks for suggestions, Kiefer. I like your suggestion about Reykjavik. I want to have their named via like airport, so I'm going to take your Reykjavik and let's see how the airport name is abbreviated. This makes perfect sense for for the international code. Skiffer, tell me, is this okay? Or you would prefer to use RKVK? Up to you, Chief. You know what? I will just do like you put it. This will be a special site only for you. There will be, for now, well, Skiffer, you know, considering that I know you, like, I would put there some Huawei device, but unfortunately I don't have any Huawei device in my GNS 3 lab. And also just for the rules, we have here the Unicode symbol, right? So, but because it's Python 3, I hope that everything should be fine, but you never know. You never know. So let's have these two sites, arrays for status, and now we will have our main script. Let's have another script add sites. Which is going to use our data here. So for site in sites, I am going to call the function add site, and I'm going to expand this dictionary in the individual arguments. So I'm going to do star site, and that's pretty much it. So now I created my main function where I will call add sites. And while I'm doing this routine at the very end, tell me guys, do you think it will work right now, or I have something wrong? Okay. This part looks fine to me. This one looks fine. Okay. So, thoughts? Will this work or no? Okay, well, I can tell you that this is not going to work. Oh, and I'm sorry, I also will rename the script to follow Python conventions, so that pep gods do not come to me while I sleep and, you know, beat me up. I would prefer to avoid this, so let me rename the script with underscores, please. So let's do ls again. Python 3 NetBox. So this is not going to work, and because I am raising an exception here. I didn't put my NetBox IP token in my environmental variables. Okay, so to change this, ideally I would put it in my profile, in my like Z shell RC, but let me do this, because, you know, obviously I have in my environment a lot of other very important tokens, so just give me 1 second, guys. Okay. So I'm going to add my token. This will take probably like 1 more minute. Okay. Should be all good. Let's try again. Python 3 NetBox API interaction.py. And it finished, but without any... Well, there was no error message, which seems to be good, but I would prefer that there is some kind of information like here, say print. Oh, this didn't work, I guess. This was supposed to say print F site was created successfully, which it didn't. Oh, okay. I know. I did that mistake again. I forgot the trailing slash here in API. And let's add here additional error, printing message. Let's say all sites were added. Have been added. So, okay, let's add this again. And you see like that redirection, 301 redirection, in this case it's really like dangerous. So, and the reason why it's dangerous, so you saw like my script finished working, but like without errors. But if you could take a look on this closely, I almost accounted for most of the situations. So I said if status code was 201, which is like resource created, then it's all good. Otherwise we are raise for status, but you don't raise for status if the code is 200, right? So we got redirected from that URL to like you were doing post without trailing slash, we got redirected to trailing slash, but we now doing get. So this basically successfully finished, so it went to else clause, but our raise for status for 200 code doesn't do anything. So we didn't print this message, so the code went here, but there was no exception. So that's why I'm claiming that it's kind of like dangerous to have what they have. And you know, if I will have some time, I'm going to advise some change to Nginx there. Basically it will be actually changed in the Docker container, so that nginx.conf can handle versions without trailing slash, do redirect automatically without doing 301, but like actually not, I will not do any redirect. I will have rewrite of this. That's what I would do. I would do rewrite on Nginx of the URL. Okay, so this one, boom, and then it says forbidden for URL for 3 client error, forbidden for URL. Oh right, this makes sense because obviously I had to use my sites endpoints here. Okay, this does not look good. Haha. Okay, So let's see, let's think what this does. For 3 client error, it says forbidden for URL API DSIM sites. API DSIM sites. API DSIM sites. NetBox 32772. Okay, this one I'm not sure. Forbidden says that I failed authentication. Oh, okay, I know what that is. I specified authentication wrong. So here is the token should be token space. So now it should be all good. Site Krakow was created successfully. Site Reykjavik was created successfully. All sites have been added. That looks very promising to me. And tada! I have my sites, and Skiffer, I have your sites here as well. Great. So yeah, we are almost approaching 3 hours, and I also see like the attendance also is dropping. So what I'm going to do more, I'm going to add the devices like we wanted. In similar fashion, and then we will wrap up for today, and for the next time we are going to continue interacting with NetBox, because we didn't get to like prefix part. That part I really wanted to do, but apparently we wasted so much time actually getting NetBox working, but that's fine. That's an experience. So okay, we have, now let's do the similar kind of stuff for devices. Oh, okay. And I think I can actually do this as a function. So I'm going to say def form, let's say form headers. This will be good enough. And I'm going to say IP token is the same thing, headers, and I'm going to return headers. And then here I'm going to say headers will be form headers. And that's it. Okay. So now in my new function, which will be add device, this will be a little bit more difficult, because you remember we had a number of categories there, stuff like that, so it will be not that as straightforward. So let's actually go to devices and see what we have. So we have 2 switches. I'm not going to add those again, even though technically I should, but that's fine. Let's not for now. Let's not do it for now. So we had device type, we had, let me see device types, ASA, CSR. So this device type will be changed to like 1. Site will be the same, role will be different, so let's see roles. Roles, one CSR will be without any role, another one will have role 1, and all of them are Cisco. Okay, cool. So let me go to Postman, to my original post. Where is it? Here. So I'm going to take this, put pretty much into my script. So let's say I will not have display name. Let's see, this will be name, this will be name, this will be device type ID. Let's do this, device type ID, comma. This will be device role ID, comma, device site, let's say site ID, and status 1. Okay. So name. Okay, so we will need name, we will need device type ID, device role ID, what about manufacturer? Can I specify manufacturer? Add this device role, manufacturer. Okay, so manufacturer is defined based on device type. That's fine. So we will just use device type, device role, and site ID. And yes, site ID. So we need these parameters. This will be data. We'll call again form headers. This code will be pretty much the same. This is the same. JSON data. Headers, form headers, data. Okay. I'm leaving those, so I have some kind of some kind of visual what kind of values those will have. So now there are two different ways. So first we can pull via API the different device types and so on. Instead of putting hard-coded ID, we make the local dictionary which will map for us like name of type to ID. This is what I'm thinking. Or we can just use the magic numbers, but I don't like magic numbers. So I think I'm going to create here like small, version of types, device types. And this will be dictionary, and we will be mapping the names. We will map the, let's say, short names, like HDC for now, to like 1. And then we had brew for 2. And then we had a couple more, but for now we'll add size only. We'll add devices only to. Excuse me. This will be actually site ID, like this. Let's say sites ID. No. Site IDs, and then we have device types, and those will be okay. This is a little bit harder. We need device types. Those have numbers. Okay. And IDs are not shown here. I would like to see IDs here. I can see when I put in the URL. So for now you need only to add CSR 1003, and this will be ID number 1. Okay. And device roles. Okay, and for now we have only 2 roles. Device roles, access switch, an edge. Let's say access, and I want to rename this. I don't like this access. I want to change this. I edit, say access. Okay, so access is ID1. This is a little bit different. It doesn't give me an ID. Well, I will guess. I don't want to pull their IP again. Let's see, H2. Okay. So now we will have our devices, which I think we wanted to pull from inventory. Device types type ID. I already forgot. I'm sorry. Device type. I will need to add I think I will put like something like this. I will use their like slug names. Let me change this a little bit as well. Devices, platforms. No, not platforms. Device types. Okay. What is their slug name? Whatever. So I need also VL2. This will be our 2. I have access switch, HJC brew. Looks all good to me, except I now need to add those to my inventory YAML. So here, let's say we'll have groups HJC. Oh no, not this one, sorry. This will be HJC, this will be brew. Host name pretty much the same, host IP, device type name. Because this is used by NetMiko, so I would need to change the script, but right now I have to, but I don't want to. Okay, I have to do it, unfortunately. For site dict, update parameters, parsed YAML. Okay. If host dict. Let's see now. Let's do this. If device type if device type NetMiko in host, then host device type will be host device type host.pop device type NetMiko. So here what I'm going to do is I'm saying if my dictionary has device type NetMiko, I'm going to get it using pop, basically delete it, and put it as host device type. This is for NetMiko. so my script will not break right now. I think it will break though, because I didn't redo everything there. Okay, I don't want to. I want to focus on NetBox right now, and then later, maybe like right after the stream, I will like fix here. So inventory, no, this one. I have HDC brew. Now I have here device type, and we have device type will be CSR 1003 for most of them. This one. Then for the switches, I will have ISV L2. Okay. What did I do? Dmitry, what did you do? Okay. This looks good to me. Sites. I have this. I don't need to map those anymore. I have device type. I map those, and now I have to put device role, but only for those for which I have to. So device role will be either access or edge. So let's go back here. So router 1 and 2, they will not have any role for some reason, but this two will have. So this will be access, switches will have access, and CSR hub 1 will be edge. Okay. So I have my YAML. Oh, so what about this one? Let's add my brew as well. Square CSR. This will be also edge. Great. So now I have to parse my I have to have similar function which does similar stuff except different. And for every site it's going to do so. Form device params from YAML, and this is going to take all of the sites, and it's going to take parsed YAML. It's going to take parsed YAML, and I don't have this anymore. So this will be a little bit different. I don't have global params anymore. I don't have global params here. I don't have NetMiko stuff. All of the stuff really will be part of info. So let's think this through. So I don't need to get let me consult my YAML file. It says all groups, yeah. So I'm going to iterate through every site for every device. So for this will be like this: for site dict in parsed YAML all groups. I'm going to say that site let's see what we had here. Site ID. So site ID will be oh, this is bad. This is bad because I will have to move this to helper, otherwise I will have circular import problem. So like this. I'm going to go through every site and I'm going to assign an ID for every site. So this is going to be done like this: sites dot I forgot how it's going to be structured here. Those are dictionaries. This and these are dictionaries where keys are. Let me think. Let's do this. For every dictionary that is right there, there is only one key. Or no. Damn it. Yeah, this seems to be like this will be dictionary containing HJC as a key. Yeah, now I see like how my structure just does not make sense anymore suddenly. And yeah. So this should be like this: sites name is HJC, and then hosts, and then you have hosts. Brew will be similar stuff. Yeah, you see like how structuring data is very important. This is a mistake. So brew will have name of the site will be brew, and then it will contain host. Now it makes more sense. So there will be a dictionary where I can get a name, and there are hosts which I can iterate through. And then those SSH scripts will break, but that's fine. I will fix them some other time. Famous last words. So let me go to helper. Correct. So now I have a site dict. No. Yeah. Yes. Correct. So I have those sites now. This is how they are called. Those are this is a list. So now I can get a name, which will be let's say site name will be site dict dot get name. Or let's say just name. Let it crash if it doesn't work. And then sites will be sites.get site name. This is how I get site ID. Now for host dict in site dict hosts, I will have my parameters. And now I have host dict, where I will have an empty dictionary first, and then host dict. Let's say let's say device params. We'll start with empty one, and then device params we are going to update first with see what data there is. We need host name, we don't need IP, we don't need this. So you'll have we'll have here a name. It will be hostdict.hostname. So then we have device params. So we have a name, this one. We will need site. We will need site and this to device type, device role. Okay. So site ID will be site ID. Device params. Here will be what? Device type ID. This could be a little bit tricky. So this will be hostdict.get. hostdict.get device type. And now I have to convert this to number. And I'm going to use get again on device types. So device types.get is. So this is how I will get an ID. And similar stuff for device role. I'm going to get device role pretty much the same way, and if it's not there, it's going to be none role. This looks good to me, so now I can yield this dictionary. Yield hostdict, no, device param, sorry. Form device params, form dictionary of device parameters for all devices on the site to import to NetBox. Parameters to for import to NetBox. Whew, we are very close, guys. So here I form headers. I no longer want to add sites. Oh, wait, here. This doesn't make sense here as well. So I have add device. And I will have here also function def add devices, and this is where the magic will be. I will have to parse the YAML first. I have to import from .helper import parse, what are the functions there? Read YAML and form device params from YAML. Okay. So now I'm going to read YAML and I say device sys params generator will be form device params from YAML. And now for the device params in devices params gen, I'm going to execute a function which is called add device, and I'm going to expand those parameters. And we'll have another print statement which says all devices have been imported. So if I did everything, unexpected arguments. Okay. I will need to remove my devices. Say delete selected. Okay. And I'm going to add devices. I don't think it will work on the first attempt, but that's fine. No module name helper. Main is not a what? From .helper import read YAML. Okay. Okay. Main is not a package. Yeah, the problem that I am calling this incorrectly. I had this before. Let me delete the. Let me don't use dot notation right now. So let me remove this. Yeah, because if you are making a package, technically your stuff should not run something. You need to put your like executing scripts in some different place, and I'm violating this this concept. So will this work now? Okay, so it's getting somewhere. It still says, oh, okay. So I'm referring to DCIM sites where I should refer to DCIM devices. So let me fix this real quick. Here. Let's do it. Bad request. So let's think this through. What is incorrect? Device type, role ID. This one can be none, and we will have to put it at the end. Well, it can be none here. Let's make sure that there were no artifacts created by our script. There was none. Okay. So what is incorrect here? Name this. Device type ID, device role ID, name, and site ID. And those are integers. Let's print data. Right. Name, display name, device type, device role none, site, status, bad request for URL. I did not expect that. So name, display name. Let's compare this to what I have on the web in the Postman. So where is my post? Right here. Name. Oh, status. Status is permanent. Right. And oh, I have here status. Status is right here. Site is right here. Device type is right here. Display name is right here. Name is here. The only point that may raise some problems here is this device role. Do you guys see a problem? Because I don't see it. I'm looking at this. I have no clue what's going on right now. This is my only concern. The device role can't be like none for some reason. Let's see. What if I put no? Will it create a device? Pretty sure it will. This field may not be null. Okay, this is what it is. So they do not accept null values. You should omit the value altogether. Okay, so then we will have to redo our script a little bit. So let's say device role will be device role ID will be this. If device role ID is not none, then I add those. And then I will need to change my here. I need to work on this one on device role ID. So I have to remove it and I say if device role ID is not none, then data device role will be device role ID. So this might work. Nope, it still doesn't. Amazing. Print data. There should be some easy mistake, I just don't see it like at all. I'm doing it to correct URL. It says 400 client error, and this is the data that I'm going to send as a JSON. See what Postman says. Let's look on this again. Name is this, display name is the same, device type is 1, device role is absent, site is equal to 1, and status is equal to 1. So what happens if I do this? Device type. Oh, device role is obligatory. Okay, for now I'm going just to put edge. No, let's have core. We'll have core. But then I will need to create core here. So let's say device roles, add core, and this will be green. Create core should be ID 3. Then I will have to add this to my inventory YAML. Device role here. This will be device role core. Core. Okay. And then in my script here I should add that in my helper I should add that there is core as well. Device role core will be mapped to 3. So then this also means that I may change the script a little in helper. I may put this stuff directly. And then here I don't need to accept empty one. So now this should work, I think. All devices have been imported. The only problem is that device name was added successfully. And then let me remove this print statement and go to my devices. Here they are. Isn't this amazing? I think it's pretty cool. Okay, so oh gosh, it's already, we are streaming for 3.5 hours. That's a lot of time. So I think this would be a good point to wrap up. So what we did today, yeah, let me wrap up real quick. And while I'm doing that, if you have some questions, something that you would like to know, ask me while I'm still on the stream. Okay, so we started, interacting with NetBox. We had a lot of, well, not a lot of, we had some pain getting it all working with Docker. So, like there was an easy problem. Like I should have written a little bit. I should have read a little bit more docs there, and I didn't. It would be much more painful to install it if I would do it without Docker though. So yeah, we install it, we started playing around what they have. The system is very fast actually, this is what I liked. We had one problem with redirects. I think something should be done there. So because this is a source of some bugs. Then we created some stuff manually, and then we started testing their APIs using Postman. And then at the very end we decided, okay, let's do the same stuff in Python. So we created sites using their API in Python. And then at the very end we had our inventory YAML, which we added some parameters there. And we basically added this inventory YAML directly to NetBox, which I think pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, we did obviously much less than I expected. I really wanted to get like prefixes and all of that stuff. We didn't, but that's fine. So we will continue, I think, playing with NetBox next time to add prefixes there. Yeah, I think this would be pretty cool. add prefixes and then get those prefixes from programmatically, basically. And I think for prefixes we will do everything in GUI and then we will get them programmatically. Yep, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for coming to the stream today. I also encourage you to join the Discord channel if you want to have some kind of discussion, between streams, to know about something, stuff like that. So this would be a place for us to hang out. The link is in the Twitch description below, and it's it should be on the top in the note. But for now, thank you very much. It was a pleasure to do this stream together with you guys, and see you 1 week from now. Bye.